Hello everybody. Next up we travel down to Falmouth, where we'll be hosted by Brighton and Hove Albion. Kick-off at the Credit Card Stadium is at 2 p.m. on Sunday, with Sky handling all the broadcast duties. So Brighton then, to give them their full name. They're handily placed despite not really getting up any head of steam in terms of consecutive wins. They've notched 2 on the trot just the once so far this season, with their last 6 reading lost 1 drew, 1-1 lost. Their last outing saw them go down 4-3 at home to a Villa side against whom they were 2-0 up at one stage. I'm not sure if that's a good omen or not. This has left them having won 6, drawn 4 and lost 4 from the 14 games they've played so far. That puts them in 7th place on 22 points, ahead of both Liverpool and Man United on goal difference. As is their wont, they were fairly active during the window. Daisy tells me that the first arrival was 5-time Open winner and winger Tom Watson. £10 million is enough to bring in the 19-year-old winger from Sunderland who, at the age of 59, narrowly missed out on a 6th Open after a 4-way playoff. I think Daisy may be having some fun at my expense here. The footballer is being saved as one for the future and has made just 2 sub-appearances in the league so far this year. Diego Coppola was the next arrival. A £9.4 million arrival from Hellas Verona, he is, as far as one can ascertain, no relation to the Hollywood film dynasty, which includes Francis Ford, Sophia and Nicolas Cage, an actor whose record of making simply dreadful movies is such that when Daisy and I sit down to watch something on Netflix, we automatically skip anything with him in it. Check out 2014's Left Behind for prime example. I seem to have wandered off track a bit here. Diego made his first appearance for the full Italian side back in May in a 3-0 defeat to Norway, which I venture to suggest was more of a hell of a beating than our 2-1 defeat to them all those years ago. He's another whose appearances have been made mainly in the League Cup. His 3 league appearances so far have come from the bench. Another warmer of the racing car seats has been Greek striker Charalambos Kostoulas, a €35 million arrival from Olympiakos. He's made 5 appearances, all of which have come from the bench. He's just got the 1 goal so far, netting in their 4-2 defeat up at Old Trafford earlier on this season. As I look through their list of signings, it looks almost like they've signed a whole bunch of players purely to play in the League Cup, which is a bit of a shame really, given that they were knocked out in round 4. One such player was Olivier Boschiatli, a free transfer arrival from PSV Eindhoven. The relatively long in the tooth for them 28-year-old has made just the 1 league start this season. The Frenchman has been capped up to under 21 level, but 7 years on, one would have thought that the chances of a full cap for Ligue Grenouille are long gone. The final arrival was Maxime de Kuyper. He arrived from Club Brugge for a reported £17.5 million. He's actually been a first-team regular since his arrival at Falmouth, and is also a full Belgian international, representing his country on 15 occasions so far. The left-back is a strong likelihood for next summer's World Cup, of which more later. Well, I say later, how about right now as we move on to this week's wild and wacky world of association football? I've just finished watching the World Cup draw. If you too have been enduring the over 2-hour plus presentation, there are organisations out there who can help you if you've been affected by anything you saw. I'll be straight onto the helpline myself as soon as I finish writing this. Where to start? Well, FIFA have always been full of their own self-importance, but I never thought in a million years that they could get so far up themselves as to decide that they were so universal that they should start to award a Nobel rivaling peace prize. If that were not bad enough, they then go and award it to Infantino's mate Donald Trump. Tom Lehrer once declared satire to be dead when Henry Kissinger, ask your granddad, was awarded the Nobel Peace Prize. Lord alone knows what he'd have said about this horror show. I look forward to other football authorities getting in on the quasi-Nobel bandwagon. I myself am going to put myself up to my old league, the Southern Amateur League, as a candidate for their Biochemistry Prize, for my detailed research into the effects of different types of bitter available at the various league grounds across London over the 25 years or so I graced their pitches. Well, I say graced. The ceremony went on and on and on and on, each new section achieving the unlikely feat of being worse than the one before. Robbie Williams performed an anthem so dreadful in retrospect it was precisely the right tune for the occasion. Lauren Hill mistook the whole event for some sort of cheese impersonating contest, which, had it been such an event, she would have won hands down with her spirited portrayal of Edam. Trump, who will no doubt be tweeting as to how much more prestigious FIFA prizes are than their Nobel counterparts, seemed to be impersonating a slightly less intelligent than usual slab of red Leicester, and the whole thing was such a cringe-making disaster that the good people of Chernobyl have packed up their trophy and sent it straight to FIFA HQ. Poor old Rio. And so to us. Liverpool first. Well, how the mighty have fallen. Yeah, they've always been masters of what the editor insists I call outhousery. However, there used to be the occasional bit of football played. Not anymore. Alisson's present at being knocked out was a prime example. With us pressing forward, he sat down and lay on his back motionless. Imagine our surprise when after a short bit of treatment he sat up, cured as if some amazing miracle had happened. Referee England failed to implement either the concussion protocol or the yellow card that is statutory for players feigning injury to stop play. And that happened so often England probably didn't want to run out of ink. Incidentally, did you notice how long was added for the stoppage at the end of that first half? Just the 1 minute. England had a truly dreadful game. Perfectly clean challenges were given yellow cards, whilst a shove in the face on Diouf that would have been worthy of a red card up at Old Trafford a week previously was apparently not even a foul. Guess which way those decisions went. Now the Paquetá sending off. Yes, it was stupid. But there were some unanswered questions about the whole affair. Firstly, that first yellow for dissent. I mean, it was pretty mild stuff. Certainly no worse than had happened elsewhere on the pitch. This gave rise to the question of whether the card had actually been for the foul. The referee seemed to indicate that it had been given for an accumulation of fouls, helpfully pointing out the 3 or 4 other parts of the pitch where he had allegedly transgressed. Which then raises the point that if anyone were guilty of the foul, it was Fulkrug. PGMOL's explanation that 2 cards had been issued for dissent got England off the hook, and it wouldn't be the first time that they'd lied to save the skin of an incompetent referee. Of course, having got the first yellow, there was absolutely no excuse for going on like Paquetá actually did. His rant coincided with yet another fake injury, which may have been what sent the Brazilian over the edge. Still, the good news for Liverpool is, if or when they sack Slot, there should be ready replacements available. I believe both Pulis and Warnock are free. A dream team for their supporters. Then it was Man United away. Good first half of the first half, I thought, and then a pretty even second half. Well worth the point. Good performances all round to recover from a slightly fluky goal. Tellingly, the equaliser came when Bowen had been replaced by Irving as corner taker. As hard as both Bowen and Potts worked during the game, their delivery from the quadrant left a lot to be desired over the match. As it was, Irving's delivery was right on the button, and Bowen was incredibly unlucky to have his header cleared off the line. Magassa, whose goal probably swung the Man of the Match award, was handily placed to bury the rebound. On the personnel front, Paquetá will be available for selection after his week off, whilst Somerville is rated at no better than 50-50 to return. Scarles will be absent, but should get the OK to resume full training next week. Igor won't be available due to being league-tied, which probably isn't a phrase, but I think it ought to be. So to the prediction. Well, Leeds' surprise win against Chelsea did us a few favours from a league position, but performance-wise we're streets ahead of where we were at the start of the season. They are a bit up and down, and with a bit of elbow grease, I can see another point coming our way. So, Mr. Winston, please place that £2.50 I was going to send to FIFA to see if that's a big enough bribe for my own prize on a 2-all draw. Enjoy the game.